Happy Saturday morning from Paul Six High School in Haddonfield, New Jersey. It's the first of 4 games in the WJYFL, the West Jersey Youth Football League Championships. Starting off our festivities with the Northern Burlington Greyhounds and the Belmar Purple Eagles in 8U competition. This will be a historic weekend for Belmar, as on what is essentially a home field. This is not where they play their home games, but it's a hometown crowd only 5 minutes away from where they play their home games on Bell Road in Belmar. Meanwhile, Belmar's 3 opponents today across 4 games, with all 4 levels represented, they're all coming from Central Jersey. Northern Burlington coming 35-40 minutes down the road from Mansfield. You've got Lawrence in games 2 and 3 coming up from Mercer County, along with, in the 4th game, Hopewell Valley out of, in the high school world, the Colonial Valley Conference. So it'll be interesting nonetheless. We were here last year. We saw some fantastic games. Second game of the day was a triple overtime thriller between Pemberton and Lawrence. That was a fantastic game. And even though last year was a little bit about parity, this year will be a lot to see if Belmar can complete what would be a historic weekend. You know, I was saying that even winning 2 of 4 games this weekend today would be incredible for Belmar. They have 3 of 4 games where they'll be the home team. The third game will be Lawrence as the home team. And across all 4 levels, it's just 1 loss, 27-1. Belmar's program staying dominant in this scene. Coin toss is being shown right on top of the field. We're here at Major Timothy Curry Field at Paul Six High School. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back for kickoff in just a moment between Northern Burlington and Belmar. Yeah. Welcome back here from Belmar. We're getting ready for West Jersey Youth Football League action between the Northern Burlington Greyhounds and the Belmar Purple Eagles. I'm Dan Wilkins. Javier Harris producing these first 2 games today. Ben Wilden will be joining us for games 3 and 4. But one constant is the same: youth football and the Belmar Purple Eagles, considering all 4 programs are represented. Again, game times are more or less tentative. We've got 10, 12, 2, and 4. That's what we have on YouTube. If there are significant delays, we'll let you know, and we'll keep everybody in the loop. But Belmar will kick off, Northern Burlington to receive. In our second-to-last football action of the season, we've got Thanksgiving Day football in Clayton on Thursday, and after that, we shift gears fully into ice hockey and basketball season starting on December the 2nd with Gloucester Catholic. Purple Eagles to kick this one off. This one will get the 10 yards. It'll be fumbled by the Greyhounds and trapped at the 45-yard line. And that's how we get started. I apologize in advance. Belmar, actually both of these teams have kind of odd jersey numbers to look at. It's not the font themselves, but it's a combination, just to stay transparent. I mean, it's a very cloudy day, 48 degrees this morning. Football weather. As lining up from just right of the center hash from the 44-yard line is where the Greyhounds will start their first drive. But Belmar only allowed 19 points in the regular season. They were 8-0 with 194 points scored, 19 points allowed. So it was a dominant season for the Purple Eagles. Northern Burlington, though, they were second in that category, and actually they scored the most points out of any team in the 8U 90-pound division. 205, giving up 37. 7-1 their record. Direct snap out to the left, moving in. Purple Eagles stopping the rush there. They'll get about a yard that time. But Northern Burlington again lining up the team between them that didn't make it to the finals, the Oakland Cougars. 7-1 for them. But in the 90-pound division, only 4 teams finished over 500. Belmar, Oakland, Northern Burlington, and Haddon Township, which finished 5-3. But 4 teams finished 3-5. New Egypt, Hopewell Valley, Lawrence, and Florence. So it looks like they got about 2 yards there. Direct snap on the left side. That's number 2, Jacoby Warthen. He's going to get a first down. He will trance his way all the way to the 44. And that is going to be a gain of 10 yards. Plenty good for a Greyhounds first down as they'll move the sticks here just about a minute into this one here at Paul Sixth. We were supposed to be here at Paul Sixth for a non-public high school playoff game versus St. Joe's Hamilton back earlier this month, but plans fell through. Ended up going to Glassboro instead. They ended up winning that game over St. Joe's Hamilton 42-13. But we love coming to PVI. Great basketball gym, great baseball field. They just hired a new coach, Nick Gruber. So when the high school baseball season comes around, you can bet that we'll find ourselves at PVI's grounds once again. 1st and 10 for Northern Burlington from the 43. Belmar lining up with 2 safeties high up. This is going to be a good snap from the shotgun. Left side, another rush to Warthen. He's going to get another 10, maybe 11 yards. He's up to the 31, and on back-to-back plays, Northern Burlington moves the sticks. Relatively small benches on either side. I think, both teams probably have about 20, maybe 22, 23 players. And Northern Burlington, they look like they have the less amount of players on their bench. I'm reading about maybe 15 players. But, yeah, that's the thing is that these smaller programs, there's going to be a lot of players that are going to share both sides of the ball. So even if Northern Burlington scores in this first drive, a lot of those players are going to have to stay out on the defensive possession with Belmar taking over. So it's imperative more than ever that Northern Burlington gets on the board in this first drive, really to send a message. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Back-to-back gains of 10-plus yards and whistles for a penalty flag. See what the penalty flag is. It's going to be a delay of game. Felt like they took a while to get that snap off, and in fact, they took a little bit too long. So that'll knock them back 5 yards. But if what Northern Burlington's offense has taught us already, it's that they can be productive. They had a gain of 12 on their, 2 plays ago. They had a gain of 11 after that. So you blink and you miss it, and they're already at the 36-yard line. But we'll have to see where they line up here. 3 minutes gone in the first quarter here at Paul Sixth. The 7-1 Greyhounds versus the 8-0 Purple Eagles. Thought they were going to go back to pass, and now the QB gets wrapped up by the Belmar defense. Number 11, Sean Osborne, gets taken down for a loss, and that's a big break for Belmar as the delay of game, the 5-yard penalty was bad enough, and now they go back to basically where they started 2 sets of downs ago at the 42. Line up at the left hash, so they are 19 yards away from their destination. This will be 2nd and 19. Northern Burlington and Belmar in the first possession of the game. Northern Burlington got the kickoff. They're going to pass. We've got an 8U pass. It's going to drop forward. That is the first time I've ever seen a pass that wasn't out of desperation at the 8U level, and they're kind of lucky it went forward there. It'll be 3rd and 19. But, yeah, that's just one situation where very surprised. They're actually going to let the clock run. I think that it wasn't a forward pass. I think that what it was that it might have went like half a yard backward, and then it ricocheted forward once it hit the ground. And it doesn't matter what direction it goes in once it hits the ground. If it's not a forward pass, it is immediately basically considered a fumble and a live ball. So they're back at the 45 now. Really a tough spot for Northern Burlington. A lot of guys moving. It's back to Warthen. Warthen misdirecting, right side, breaks a few tackles, stays on his feet, buying his time. Ball comes out. Belmar looks like they have it, and the referees signal that they do. Fumble by Jacoby Warthen, and Belmar takes over for their first drive of the night. A 5-minute drive by Northern Burlington ends in no points. Belmar takes over. They're going to line this one up, looks like at their own 42, or rather at the 37. I mean, that drive was doing so well for Northern Burlington. Had a lot going for them there, and they had a couple of really good plays. Got a 12-yard rush, got a 10-yard rush, and then it slowly started to get off the rails as ended up having a 5-yard penalty for delay of game, and then a sack, and then almost an incomplete pass that was ruled not a forward pass, ruled a backward pass. And it ends with a respectable rush by Warthen, but it ends in a fumble. Handoff by the Purple Eagles for their first drive of the night. They've already got some movement. Down to the 50. He's got some room, gets tackled at the 40, and that will be a big gain of 20+ by the Purple Eagles and by number 18, Jalen Jones. First down, Belmar. Jalen Jones flips the field, gets Belmar up to the 40 on the opposite side, and one play, and Belmar's already moving. When you take 5 minutes off the board in the first quarter, if you're Northern Burlington, I mean, there is a silver lining to it that you didn't give Belmar the ball right away. Had a lot of different conversions and were able to really get something going as Northern Burlington wraps up this rush. I believe Jones was the rusher again. No, that was number 14, Connor Haran. At some point during these games, we will read the team rosters to you. That's something that I picked up from my good friends over at HSG Network. If you watch some youth football, they cover different leagues around the area, and including some Hillsborough High School football. But they do this thing where they read off every name so that even the players that don't get a lot of playing time get recognized at least once, especially in the youth levels. Ooh, there might have been some movement on the line. Jones rushes out to the right. It was either that or a really good snap read. Jones gets wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be third down now. And I think the big thing for Belmar is capitalization. I mean, Northern Burlington gave you a bit of a gift with their drive. If they didn't have those penalties and the fumble had still happened, they probably would have been close to the red zone. They would have been backing up Belmar by about 10 yards. Now, you've got the whole field ahead of you, but you only got 39 yards to go. Belmar's first drive looking promising, but back-to-back stops at the line of scrimmage by a powerful Northern Burlington defense that has allowed only 37 points all year. Handoff is botched. Another fumble. Belmar scoops it up. Closest man to that one was Owen Latour for Northern Burlington. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting spot there. Northern Burlington has read these snaps really well, almost too well, if you get what I'm saying. It's now 4th and 13, we'll say, for sake of argument. But first down marker is at the 30. But yeah, this time, I mean, Belmar looked like they were going to be destined for a first possession score with a 21-yard rush by Jalen Jones. But now 3 straight stops by a strong Northern Burlington defense, and we have a timeout. The Purple Eagles call one prior to their 4th down play. We'll also take a timeout with 2:35 in the first, no score. We'll talk about it later. Welcome back. Northern Burlington, or rather Belmar, called their first timeout of the first half. 4th and 13. Oh, and NBC jumped the stripe. They jumped the line. That looked like the nose tackle that time. That puts Belmar in a better position, but on 4th and 13, it only makes it 4th and 8. So it isn't make or break, but Northern Burlington is going to have to limit those mistakes. Again, line to gain is at the 30. If you're just joining us, I'm Dan Wilkins, Javier Harris on the production. Ben Wilden will be joining us later today for a action-packed Saturday morning, because it's 10 o'clock for the first game. 10, 12, 2, and 4. Belmar Purple Eagles represented in all 4 divisions. Handoff. They fake the handoff, or it might have been a missed exchange. We don't know, but he's diving forward. He's going to be 2 yards short, and Belmar will fail to convert. As that handoff that time by Jaquan Feliciano looked like that he might have had a shot, but I think it was either a missed exchange or it was just designed to be that way, and it just didn't work out. It'll be a turnover on downs. Again, we're here from Paul 6 High School, 48 degrees this morning. Somebody's got a train horn, train bell. Watch out for the trolley. It's interesting because I don't know if there's like a rule against artificial noisemakers or not, or if there is, maybe it's just not enforced. But at the high school games, they crack down on it a lot. You know, if you've got a whistle or a bell or even an air horn, it's like they take that away from you immediately. We've seen that a lot of times. It's Worthen on the carry. Sweeping out to the left after a misdirection. He now gets in front of the line of scrimmage. After another misdirection, he's going to get 10, 11 yards up to the 44. And Jacoby Worthen, after struggling to get past the line of scrimmage, found a gap and was able to scramble for 11 yards. So after 2 drives, one by each team, failed to score. I mean, we very well could have a scoreless first quarter. .211. Clock is stopped because it looked like Worthen went out of bounds. 2nd and 5. So after all of that, it was a long developing play, and they say that he stepped out at the 38 or 37. So no first down, but a shotgun snap. It's to Worthen on the right side. He's got room. He's on his feet. He is down at the 50, hit from behind by Jalen Jones. And Worthen now will not be denied for sure. It's a gain of 13, and it's a first down for the Greyhounds. Of course, it's a little bit interesting. Belmar normally plays their home games at the Belmar Rec Center right off of Bell Road. We've never done a Belmar home game, but we have been to that field before. If you've ever been to Belmar, or if you're a Belmar fan, we've done several games at the baseball field behind that complex, including the Thank You Classic in 2024. Had a great game between Haddon Township and Timber Creek that year. We've done many Summer League games there with the Haddonfield Rough Riders having somewhat of a temporary home there at the Belmar Rec Center. It's a fun place to be. That snap was botched, but now we've got flags. Northern Burlington tried to run through it. It's going to be a penalty in the offense. It's going to be a false start. The snap went to Zayden Hawes. That's what we were talking about, the air horns there. But, yeah, I mean, the point is that in these games, you're going to see, I mentioned it last weekend when I was working with HSG Network, my good friends over there in Bridgeton. And one of the things is that you're going to see the evolution of football. You're going to see the development of football happening in real time because the 10Us will replace the 8Us. We've got a direct snap to Hawes. He's in trouble, somehow breaking free, but not for long as he now gets to midfield, still breaking tackles, but he gives himself up at the 48. Fantastic effort by Hawes there as he basically had 3 doors to try to go through and none of them were going. They're asking for the clock to be stopped. There is a Belmar player shaken up on the near sideline, but a fantastic rush by Hawes to salvage some yards, and he will get up to the 47. So it's a gain of 3, but honestly, given his predicament, it could have been a lot worse. As that Belmar player will be attended to, we'll stay right here for the moment, as he'll get up and he'll walk off under his own power. That's number 1, Carson Crawford. Scheduled for next week for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. On Tuesday, we've got JUCO basketball, our last before the Thanksgiving break, between the Thaddeus Stevens Bulldogs of North Jersey and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. It's a men's basketball standalone game at 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 25th. And then on Thanksgiving Day, it's going to be one of the most historic matchups in DWB history. It's the 100th Pittman-Clayton rivalry. We'll have pregame ceremony starting at 10:10. As a direct snap, shotgun to Warthen, left side, staying on his feet up to the 40. Now he emerges on the other side of the field. Here comes Warthen, gets tugged at the jersey, still on his feet, dancing to the left side. He stays in bounds. One of the longest plays you'll ever see, and it ends with a gain of 27. Oh my goodness. What a play, Jacoby Warthen. And we'll go to the end of the first quarter with no score, but an incredible play to end the first as Jacoby Warthen gets 27 yards on a scrambler. We'll be right back. All right, go ahead. Second quarter getting ready to start after how about Jacoby Warthen. 27-yard rush to end the first. We now flip the field and we start the second on the Belmar 23. Oh, he's spinning around here. He's going to be in trouble this time. Belmar not having any fun with it. Tackle made by number 22, Logan Accardo. It'll be 2nd and 15. Line to gain is up at the 13. As we mentioned, though, Northern Burlington, 2nd in the WJYFL 8U division, or 90-pound, in points allowed, 37 on the season. Belmar had 19. I mean, you just have to kind of put the math in your head. 19 points over 8 games. That's 2.3 points per game, and you know that there's probably not a lot of safeties in 8U football, so there's probably a lot of shutouts in that 2025 season for Belmar. Northern Burlington moving up. I think that might have been Zayden Hawes on the carry. He's going to get pushed back, but let's see where forward progress puts him. They might put him on the edge of the red zone. These two teams did meet in week 1 of the regular season with Belmar winning 12-0. But, I mean, with all due respect, when you look at the 90-pound division, there are a lot of shutouts. You know, Oakland beat Riverside in week 1, 28-0. Just looking at week 8, there were 3. Although week 8 looks like they also had a fantastic barn burner. Florence beating New Egypt 44-33. Been to New Egypt a couple times when we worked for the WJYFL in 2021. 3rd and long, low snap, able to corral it, but not for long, and Belmar makes the stop. And I think it's starting to settle in that this game could very well be a war of attrition. It very well could come down to who is going to make less mistakes. And in the 8U division, in the 90-pound division, it might be a little bit expected. Again, it's 8U for a reason. These kids are 8. I remember when I was 8 years old, I made a lot of mistakes. And I think that these kids are just going to learn. Northern Burlington, though, this is their 2nd time in this first half. They've had 2 drives. Both started out really successfully. We saw Jacoby Warthen at a 27-yard rush earlier at the end of the first quarter, and now Northern Burlington's getting backed up. They had a fumble, they had a couple tackles for loss, and now they're set up 4th and long. Belmar making shifts on the defense, adding an extra linebacker to the defensive lineup. Looked like he was going to drop back to pass. This is going to be a sack. Belmar gets in on it. He stays on his feet. They push him out of town. Purple Eagles take over from their own 39 as Belmar forces a 2nd turnover against the Greyhounds. Here from Paul 6 High School, this broadcast is brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, premier sports photography right in your backyard. Visit grayfoxsports.net or Gray Fox Sports on Instagram for more information. That's our good friend Michael Taylor, our CSJ grad. He's only going to be available until January, so you'll stop seeing that advertisement then. We wish him the best of luck at Bloomsburg. He's going to grad school up there. He's also doing track and field. Got a penalty flag on the play. False start on Belmar. 7:07 in the 2nd quarter. For all of these games today, stay tuned for our DWB halftime program. We will show some archives throughout the day, some of the best clips that you've seen from DWB, from walk-off home runs to game-winning shots and much more. We'll be updating that archive for the basketball season as Jalen Jones gets a handful of yards, gets it up to the 39. So after the 5-yard loss, they basically reset, and it'll be 2nd and 9. So he got 6 on the play. Again, Belmar represented in all 4 divisions this year. The 90s, the 110s, the 125s, and the 160-pound. Now, from what I have been told, or what I have scoured through the internet for, it seems like the 125-pound game is the most highly sought after of the day, as another rush by Jones gets him up to the 45. I'm in a few WJYFL Facebook groups just casually because there's some interesting chatter about these games, and it seems like there's a lot of good camaraderie among the parents, which is always something good to see. And it's just like a lot of playful banter. Like, you know, they're almost bantering on behalf of the kids. But one of the things that was mentioned was that there was a very, very big discussion about Lawrence and Belmar, the 3rd game of the day. That seems like that is the marquee ticket. If you're a Belmar fan, if you've got to see one game and miss the other 3, that might be the one to go to. Here comes Jalen Jones. He's free to the 40, the 30. Our first score of the day with no flags to hold him down. Jalen Jones in the end zone. 56-yard touchdown, and the Purple Eagles are on the board. How fitting that the Purple Eagles, first of the day, they walk into the end zone that reads Eagles, representing Paul Sixth, as Belmar gets on the board first here on this Saturday morning. And they'll try the extra point. Remember, at this level, there is 1 point for rushes, 2 points for passes. Rolling through the middle, and it's good. So it is Belmar 7 and Northern Burlington 6. Right after this, we'll take a quick break. Okay, go ahead. Welcome back here from Paul Six High School. As we have here in Haddonfield, just 4 minutes away from where DWB, I guess you could call it the headquarters, resides, as kickoff looks like it'll be recovered by Northern Burlington. Looks like it got a little bit tossed around, and the Greyhounds will take over. But 4 games today. First of the day you're watching right now, Northern Burlington 0, Belmar 7. 56-yard rush by Jalen Jones. First and 10. They're from the 39. Northern Burlington's had 2 drives. Both have ended in turnovers. Taken down. Big loss that time. Tackled by number 23, Jaquan Feliciano, as Hawes gets wrapped up. Northern Burlington with a stacked backfield. Rolling out left side. He's going to be in trouble if he doesn't get out of this one. Here comes another hit. Ball comes out. I think Northern Burlington fell on it. And we do have a penalty flag down. I thought I saw one, and there is. We don't really have a white cap or anything, so the head ref is just whoever comes up with it. Holding. A personal foul is going to be the call here. Whatever the penalty is, it's declined, which is honestly smart because considering that Belmar already had the tackle for loss, they already had a fumble that was almost recovered. No need to tack on more yardage. That's one situation where it's actually more responsible to take the loss of down and pin that against them. But again, Northern Burlington has been holding their own. They've had 2 successful drives so far. This is the first drive where they've kind of been a little bit slow out of the gate. And this is the only game where Northern Burlington is represented in this WJYFL championship here in Haddonfield. Rolling out right side. This could be trouble. He is going the wrong way. Belmar trying to take him down. They're unsuccessful. He is still 20 yards behind his line of scrimmage. And finally, he gets taken down. He's at the 10. Oh, boy. That was Zayden Hawes. A couple of players got shaken up, it looks like, as, wow, that was kind of odd. Hawes, again, they tried. I said this last weekend, and even though it wasn't this league, I'll say it again for this weekend. The biggest thing that these coaches have to teach on both sides, the 8U level, is that the misdirections that you see in the NFL are not going to happen in this league, and they're not going to happen at this age level either. And right now, I mean, they're at the 12, 13-yard line. That'll be 10, 20, 30. They're almost 40 yards away from a first down. So they need a Jalen Jones-style big rush. And again, I'm not trying to harp on Northern Burlington here, but they're going to go for the punt option, which inside their own 45, it's a smart idea, and it will move this one 25 yards up. So Belmar, with that huge tackle for loss, for a loss of nearly 20 yards, the punt option now sets up the Purple Eagles at the 32. 3:22 to play in the half. Again, the only score of the game so far was a 56-yard rush by Jalen Jones. Belmar staying with it through the middle. He'll get about 5 yards. He'll get up to the 27. Line to gain is at the 22. Northern Burlington has all timeouts remaining. Belmar has 2. Don't know how imperative it will be to use them at this time, but Belmar may like to buy some time to try to get a second score on the board. But again, their one score did come from a very explosive run by Jalen Jones. Jones gets the carry again. He's out to the left side, finds some space. Last man can't take him down. He's up to the 5. And Northern Burlington does finally get a leash on Jalen Jones, as that is going to be a gain of 20 yards. And Belmar moves the sticks, and they'll drop the sticks, 1st and goal. Like we said, when these two teams met up in week 1 of the regular season, Belmar won 12-0, and it's not easy. And now Northern Burlington calls a timeout, so they'll have 2 remaining. We'll take a quick break. 2:33 left in the first half. It's 7-0 Belmar. All right, go ahead. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. A 20-yard rush by Jalen Jones now sets Belmar up in prime territory. 1st and goal from the 6. Where's the ball? It's on the goal line and in. Touchdown, Belmar. Their 2nd of the game. Looks like Jex Feliciano might have been on the rush that time. And they'll try to PAT, try to make this 14-zip. They converted easily on their first PAT, again, just by really commanding the line forward like a soldier in battle, as this time they're on the goal line. Northern Burlington might have a stop here, and they do. So they pick up the PAT stop, and it's now 13-0 Belmar. But Belmar's already scored more points in this game than they did in all of their Week 1 regular season matchup. We'll take another quick break. Quick score by Belmar. Time of possession only 1 minute, or no, 56 seconds. for Belmar to get into the end zone. A 20-yard rush by Jones. So quite seriously, only a 3-play drive. Kickoff didn't go as far as they expected. Northern Burlington picks it up. And it will be Greyhound ball from the opposing 48. As the public addresser announced, let's, we don't have a graphic for it, but the itinerary for the day. Hold on here. Sorry about that. We had some audio issues briefly. But like we were saying, the public address announcer was mentioning the schedule for the day. We've got NB and Belmar now. Lawrence has the next 2 games versus Belmar. The second game is the 10U's, and that will be a home game for Belmar. And then the third game is the 125s, which is where Lawrence is the home team at 8-0. And then the fourth game of the day, it's a rematch from last year in Hopewell, Belmar, which was a great low-scoring affair. 8-0 the final in that 160 game. Northern Burlington with 2:20 to play. Right side, Hawes gets it for about 7 yards up to the 40, maybe the 41 if we want to be a little conservative, and it's going to be all the way back at the 42 actually. So it's still a gain of 6. Line to gain is at the 38. On an overcast Saturday morning here at Paul Sixth. Is out to the right side. Another rush by Warthen. He's on his feet still. And a late flag came in. And another late flag comes in. 2 infractions. Both flags came in at the same time.
Almost at the same time, but I think they came from different refs. And would imagine with how late they were called and as they were out on the sideline, would imagine some late hits are going to be applied here. So let's see what the call is, waiting for the head ref's decision. The 2 refs who actually threw the flags are speaking on their sideline. So multiple penalty flags down, but we'll see if they're for the same infraction. Helmet-to-helmet contact, it looks like, and sportsmanlike against Northern Burlington. So that's what it looks like.
So the helmet penalty charge to Belmar was.
I'm going to be honest, that first penalty, not entirely sure whether that's helmet-to-helmet or whether it's a blindside block.
That was called with that specific signal, but it's going to, after all of that, we're going to line up at the 26. Again, just, sometimes these kids hit big, and especially in the 8U level, sometimes they hit too hard for their own good. As Belmar calls a timeout. 1:36 left in the first half. It's the Purple Eagles 13 and the Greyhounds 0. Go ahead. 1:36 left in the half. Belmar's coaches coming off the field as they called, I believe, their second to last timeout. Greyhounds on the left side. Haynes on the carry. Hawes, rather, diving forward. He's going to get about 5 yards on the sweeping rush. That's the thing about these 8U kids is that because they're smaller in size, and I apologize, that was Warthen on the carry. Because they're smaller in size, it actually is more of an advantage for them to use the whole field.
Because a lot of these kids don't want to rush up
The middle, and honestly, these 8U kids, they just want to run. They just want to run. It doesn't matter what direction it is. They love running, and that's what makes it so great. As Worthen drops the ball, it fell right in front of him, and he falls on it. It's going to be a loss of 4 yards, and now Northern Burlington calls a timeout with 51 seconds left. We will stay right here.
And we have another timeout on the
You're watching coverage of the WJYFL Youth Football Championships, or EWB. You can contribute to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. You can send us anything you'd like on our Venmo at DW Broadcasting. Again, I'm a college student, second year at Rowan College of South Jersey in Gloucester County. We do a lot of work with our CSJ, and we've got a lot of college students and high school kids and some college graduates as well in our ranks. We have 7 members of the Rowan University Sports Communications Program as interns with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. And even if you can't make a contribution, or if you know somebody, or if you yourself are a small business owner, the commercials you'll see today at halftime of DWB broadcasts are all filmed, edited, recorded, and produced by our wonderful crew. And all proceeds go towards either college funds or coding expenses or travel costs. So send us an email today with an inquiry at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. Or right side, on 3rd and long after the fumble, he's going to be able to hang on to the ball this time. Another flag comes in on the far sideline. As Worthen was going out of bounds, he knocked down the first down pylon, and it appears that Northern Burlington is going to get tagged for a penalty. They certainly disagree with it. It's going to be a hold. That was a late hold, too. Came in from the far sideline. Must have been one of those edge tackles.
And the ball carrier was rounding the far side of the 20-yard line.
Northern Burlington, 4 coaches on their staff: Paul Spray, Miguel Rodriguez, Mike Osborne, and Ed Klusman.
41 seconds on the board.
7-1 in their season. Only loss was week 1. Northern Burlington led a shutout over Pemberton to end the regular season, 28-0. In the playoffs this year, they beat Hopewell 28-0 and beat Oak Lynn on the road 28-7. As a pass is intercepted, this could be a pick 6 high in the air. Run back with nobody in his area code to the 10. In the end zone, Feliciano. Touchdown, Belmar. Pick 6. When will you ever see that at the 8U level? Oh, my.
Jaquan Feliciano, as an 8-year-old, just scored a pick 6. And it's 19-0. That is returned for the length of 60 yards. Feliciano picked up a score on the ground and now picks up a 60-yard pick 6, one for the ages on DWB. Can't say the last time, or if I have ever seen. I mean, I haven't seen a team pass much at all in the 8U level. I mean, even the 12Us and the 14Us, even they only occasionally pass. It's a little bit windy today. I can just barely hear it or feel it in the press box. It's kind of whisking around a little bit. But, yeah, I can't say the last time I saw anything like that. 60-yard pick 6. Jaquan Feliciano. A score on the ground and a score defensively. Makes this 19-0 in the wee moments before halftime. Belmar's coaches are on the field. They're pulling them away here. Had a bit of an extended break before the PAT. I don't know if they had a timeout charged or if that was just time they were using. I believe they do have one timeout remaining. They'll go for the PAT. Remember, 1 point for a rush, 2 for a pass. They're going to try a pass to make it, and they've got it. An 8-point play finished off by number 99, Logan Frame. And it's 21-0. As how about that? Let's take a look at that replay one more time if we have anything on that. Yeah, I mean, just catching the end of that there. Jaquan Feliciano, how do you do? 21-0. Belmar over the Greyhounds right after this. Go ahead. Kickoff ready to go. Just a couple of plays left before halftime. How about a pick six with a 2-point pass as well? Northern Burlington staying on their feet. They'll take a few seconds off the board, and with 21 seconds left, I mean, they can take a knee. They will, I should say Belmar will receive the ball to start the second half, so maybe they can get something going. Because you never want to see what's it called? You never want to see shutouts or blowouts in the youth football circuit. You really don't want to see it in any level because nobody likes a lopsided game. But Northern Burlington, again, they are a very deserving team to be in this situation. 7-1. Their only loss was to Belmar. It's not like they had a bad game versus a sub-500 team. They have played very well. And in youth football, you don't really see a lot of, I would say, upsets. If a team is 7-1, it's usually because they won 7 games that they were supposed to win. In high school football, you do see things change around, and certainly in college football can go any old day. Jacoby Warthen on the carry. Northern Burlington bringing this one up for a handful of yards on top of the PVI Eagle logo. 10 seconds left. Northern Burlington not going to call a timeout. They're going to look at the clock, and I think they're going to pull their guys off. Then they will. At the end of the first half, Belmar puts up 3 scores, including a fantastic pick six by Jaquan Feliciano. We'll go to halftime here in at Haddonfield at Paul Six High School. At the end of the first half, it's the Purple Eagles 21 and the Greyhounds 0.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game. We'll lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game 1. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0. Launches one foul. See, Mostero's doing us a service here. Or excuse me, D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro is doing us a service here. He's letting us have this conversation by having a long at-bat. But a lot of people are still caught up in the D1 or bust mentality. Listen to this crowd. Listen to this crowd. We'll talk about that later. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Clapping it up here for the Roadrunners. 2-2. Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! 3-run homer! D'Alessandro! And it's a 1-run game at the crack of the bat. 5-4. 3-run shot to center field. Trailing towards the right center, and the cleanup man does exactly what the position orders. Cleaning up. And he does it incredibly well with a 5-4 game. He battles for 11 pitches and makes
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play. The force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play. BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top for the first.
Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a 400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, 331 career mark and a 430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0.
It will be inbounded by Pat Monahan. Oh, the ball gets away. Who's going to have it? GCIT will hang on to the possession. It goes to Stanwood. Stanwood inside. They'll get the shot off. It's gone! Unbelievable! Boston calls the timeout, but will they get it? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! A double contest shot from Hellman! Wow. Ryan James wanted the timeout, but did they get it in time?
He's donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop it. It's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2.
Tim, I'm 99% sure all divisions, I mean, you're only working the first 2 games, but I'm 99% sure all divisions are 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because that's how it was when I worked last weekend, and it seems pretty universal 10-minute quarters, which I'll take any day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For some reason, 10 minutes in youth football feels so much shorter than 12 minutes in high school football. I guess because high school football teams pass more.
Yeah.
And like these teams just like they go play, they just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's quicker.
Absolutely. Dude, the difference between a 6-inning game and a 7-inning game umpiring, it's like totally different. Like it's just 1 inning, and it's just like it affects.
Well, in men's league.
Men's from 7 to 9, it's insane.
It's
9 innings. It's
you realize
ridiculous.
that game that you umpired and then I was
I know.
3 hours.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
3
and
hours.
Usually I get through a 7-inning game in like a buck and a half. Like I could fly through a 7. Those 9s,
because they just get exhausted.
Yeah. Yes, sir. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back from the halftime break. Belmar is quite excited on their sideline, and you can hear their home crowd from where we are in the press box. We're here at Major Timothy Curry Field at Paul 6 High School in Haddonfield. We were here same time last year. Well, not really the same time last year, because last year when we did these games, it was the Saturday after Thanksgiving. This year, it's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So we are not in turkey calling. That will be next week. But just to recap quickly, the first half was quite an eventful one for the Belmar Purple Eagles. After both of their first drives fell short, they ended up getting on the board with a 56-yard rushing touchdown by Jalen Jones. After Northern Burlington punted, Jaquan Feliciano picked up the next two scores. 6-yard touchdown with 2:26 and a half. And then 2 minutes later, a rare, and I can't emphasize how rare it is, a pick six by Jaquan Feliciano and a 2-point pass. We've seen a little bit of everything out of the basket tonight for Belmar as we get ready for the
second half. Northern Burlington and their coaches meeting on the sidelines as we'll get ready for the second half. As we get ready to go, excuse me, 1 second, the end of the, sorry, I was just updating my drive chart, but let's read over the rosters for both of these teams as we do normally for these youth football games. For the Northern Burlington Junior Greyhounds, it's Miguel Rodriguez Jr., number 0. Number 1, Tyrone Leverett Jr. Number 2, Jacoby Worthen. Number 3, Mason Speranza. Number 4, Robert Bibbs. Number 5, Zayden Hawes. Number 8, Daniel Banks. Number 11, Sean Osborne. Number 12, Isaac Giolella. Number 15, Caden Warner. Number 19, Caden Dombrowski, excuse me. Number 26, Owen Latour. Number 33, Caleb Sprague. Number 53, Ryan Murtaugh, coached by Paul Sprague, Miguel Rodriguez, Mike Osborne, and Ed Klusman. Northern Burlington will kick off the Belmar, and then we'll read off the Purple Eagles roster when they get the ball. Short kick, gets to 10 yards, bounces off of Feliciano, and it will dive at midfield at the 50-yard line. Emerging with it was number 58, Salvatore Riccardi. And the Purple Eagles will take over at midfield. For the 8U Purple Eagles, it is number 1, Carson Crawford. Number 2, Jex Feliciano. Number 3, Tyson Lego. Number 4, Jonthony Melendez. Number 6, Alexander Melendez. Number 7, Alexander Melendez. Number 8, Andrew Quinn. Number 10, Landon Keller. Number 11, Jacob Hudson. Number 14, Connor Haran. Number 15, Danny Signorini. Number 17, Gavin Finelli. Number 18, Jalen Jones. Number 20, John Bertelli. Number 21, Saud Abney Jr. Number 22, Logan Accardo. Number 23, Jaquan Feliciano will resume after this play. 1st and 10, lined up exactly on the 50. Feliciano handoff, that gets wrapped up hard. Tackle made by Caleb Sprague on the rush. Looked like a bit of a missed exchange on the handoff there. That's going to be a loss of 2. I'll bring him back to the 48. Resuming where we started, number 24, Robbie Fowler III. Number 26, Braden Lincoln. Number 27, Gabe Rivera. Number 33, Finn Giove. Number 36, Rashawn Setzer. Number 44, Santino DiCiano. Number 50, Cooper Allen. Number 51, Bo Tienkin. Number 55, Maverick Corsi. Number 57, Harrison Diaz. Once again, we'll wait for the end of the play. 2nd and 12. He's going to go back to pass. Right side. It's a high floater, and it's caught. That'll get him by Jex Feliciano down to the 45. These 8U kids are passing. Are you kidding me? I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Both teams have attempted multiple passes in this game, and I don't think I've ever seen 8U teams just throwing the ball around as a designed play, not even out of desperation. This is pretty low stakes, 3-score game early in the 3rd quarter. Something to see. We're going to see more of it as we go along into the day, I assume, with Belmar and Lawrence occupying the next 2 games. Handoff right side. It's Crawford. He's got a 1st down. He was able to stay in bounds, but he's at the 39. So that will be enough for a 1st down. Closing out the roster for Belmar, number 58, Salvatore Riccardi. Number 65, Connor Ferguson. Number 66, Jax Milloway. Number 67, Zach Schaefer. Number 77, Maddox Reddy. Number 98, Logan Melchior. Number 99, Logan Frame. And last but most certainly not least, number 0, Jaden Malateri. Just joining us, Northern Burlington without a score so far, trying to keep this game as close as it can be on defense, with Belmar up 21-zip, whistles, and a false start against Belmar prior to the snap. I'll knock him back to 1st and 15 at the 44. But listen, if Jalen Jones can have a 56-yard rushing touchdown, I guess it doesn't really matter where on the field Belmar is, because right now they're doing quite well. But Northern Burlington, they do need to make some stops. They have wrapped up Belmar at some point, but it's not consistent enough. I mean, you know, the story right now can mostly be told by the lower third, by that scoreboard. And we're going to have an offside neutral zone infraction on number 4, Robert Bibbs. He was the nose tackle that jumped there. And that'll bring him right back to where we started, as if the false start never happened. And that's going to take even more time off the board, because the clock was running for most of that false start and neutral zone infraction sequence. Handoff to Jones. Bit of a stutter step moving forward. Not really getting as far as he would like. He's going to be up to the 32. He's going to get a gain of 6 or 7 yards, not sure. And that will be, got a Northern Burlington player that was briefly shaken up, but he gets back under his own power. Second and short, handoff to number 14, Haran. Moving through the middle, Haran's got some space. Sprague, the last man to get to him, and he's got a first down. Belmar's in the red zone. And if you're a Belmar fan, that definitely makes you feel good. I mean, getting in the red zone, 3-score game. This game is, you know, it's not decided yet, but another score would make it a lot closer to being decided. And if you're Northern Burlington, you know, these games are always tough, because you think you have it. I mean, Northern Burlington has a lot of good things going for them. Just the lower third, the scoreboard says a little bit differently. That's just how it is. They have done some really good things on offense. I've been really impressed by Jacoby Worthen and Zayden Hawes, the 2 rushers, especially Worthen with his 27-yard rush at the end of the first quarter. The long-winded play that was, it was fantastic. But Belmar ended up forcing a turnover on downs, and NBC was kept off the board. Getting a push from the back. He's able to stay on his feet for Feliciano. Out to the right side, dancing through the middle, up to the 10. A flag comes in. He might have gotten 10 yards on it, but this might all be for moot if this is coming back. There's a Northern Burlington player down. It is a hold against the offense, as that Northern Burlington player still in a bit of pain, as they will talk to them. But as it stands right now, I mean, Northern Burlington's been having themselves a decent day, just haven't been able to get on the scoreboard, and this holding penalty will definitely benefit the Greyhounds. But as they attend to him, we'll take a quick break. It's 21 for Belmar, 0 for Northern Burlington here in the third.
Two.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, never mind.
Slot. Welcome back here from Paul Six High School. currently 21-zip. As the rush to the right side by Belmar is in the end zone. Touchdown, no flags, 20-yard rush. Put the Purple Eagles up 4 scores. Carson Crawford gets in there. It's going to be 27-0 here midway through the third quarter. Not to mention that being on Belmar's first drive of the half. It feels like that was a long drive. But the third touchdown on the ground today by the Purple Eagles, the first by Crawford. And it's now 27-zip. As Belmar looks like they're on their way to their first championship of the day. They can get as many as 4, and they would have a lot of rings coming home if they get it. But we'll take a quick break. 28-0. Belmar scores once again with 4:24 left to play in the third. .28 for Belmar, 0 for Northern Burlington. We welcome you back to Paul Six High School. But at this current time, not entirely sure what the clock procedures will be from here on out with Northern Burlington down 4 scores. They do have the option to let it run regularly or whether to initiate a running clock. Remember, this is the only weight class that Northern Burlington is represented in today. Lawrence is Belmar's opponent for the second and third games, and this one might go out of bounds if he doesn't pick it up. Big hit as Crawford and Haran take down Hawes, who had the return. Actually, that looked like that was number 26, Owen Latour, who had the return. Northern Burlington sets up with 4:09 to play in the third, and the clock will run. So we will continue to get this one moving as, well, it could mean we have an early start to the 10U championship or the 100-pound championship between Lawrence and Belmar. Remember, for these games today, if you'd like to watch the individual live streams, click on the individual links for your game. Just look at the title, see what class you're looking at, or look at the logos on the thumbnail, see what teams are being represented. I know some other companies have one continuous live stream for the games, but for logistical sake and because YouTube is different with advertising for different live streams, it's not even a business decision. It's just a logistical one to run 4 different live streams. So I know it's a pain for some of the Belmar fans because they're going to have to click on 4 different links, but that's just how we have to run it. The Southpaw's pass is incomplete over the middle. I give Northern Burlington tons of respect for passing the ball in this stage of the game. I'm sure there's some kids that might have eligibility to play here next year because if they're 8 years old, they're probably going to have to play another year. Kids might be a year younger. They might have another year of this offense, and if they can perfect this now, or if they can at least tune this up now, Belmar has had a couple of passes. They had the 2-point conversion. Remember, 1 point for a rush, 2 points for a pass or a kick. As this is lined up from the 39 after the incompletion by Northern Burlington. And even with the incompletion, remember, the running clock still in effect. Right side, Warthen is going to get hit just ahead of the line of scrimmage as the handoff was made by number 11, the quarterback, Sean Osborne. Third and 9, a gain of 1 on the rush by Worthen. But still a very respectable game for Northern Burlington, even with the running clock. I think that, especially at this level of 8U, you do have to see between the lines a little bit, even in games. I mean, I'm sure the parents know it at sometimes. Sometimes your team is on the losing end of these games, and sometimes you're on the winning end. And there's other, I mean, how many opponents have Belmar and Northern Burlington beaten by a lot of points? NBC had a 28-0 shutout over Pemberton to end their regular season, and then they won by 14 points over Oakland in the semifinal, 20-7. That was a close game, and then a 20-0 shutout over their first-round opponent, being Hopewell Valley, as the 6th seed. So, as it stands, I mean, listen, football's a tough game, and these kids are the best thing that you can do about football is teach them how to be. Especially at this level, at this age, good sports in winning and losing, and especially in a championship game like this, it is, I know for some of the kids, it is such a deflating feeling to be on the wrong end in a championship game. In the regular season, it's a little bit different, but when you've worked so hard, you know, these teams, they probably start practicing sometime in July or August. It's right now the weekend before Thanksgiving. It's a long time. It's a lot of time devoted to these programs, as Belmar is going to call a timeout. With 35 seconds left in the third quarter, as Northern Burlington down 28-0, we'll take another break. .35 seconds left after the snap. Clock will continue to run as Northern Burlington lines up 4th and long. It's Hawes, left side, has a little bit of space, tried to thread the needle, and it's no good. Hawes' rush, check that, Worthen's rush, falls short. I don't think he got back to 10 yards of a first, and Belmar will take over, and they're just going to end the quarter because they're not going to have time to flip everybody over with 10 seconds left. So a relatively short third as the running clock is enacted, only one drive on each side. And at the end of the third, it will be the Purple Eagles 28 and the Greyhounds 0. We'll take a quick break. Belmar up 28 in the fourth quarter as we start the fourth quarter. Northern Burlington ended the third with a running clock for the last 4 minutes. And now the clock will run again. With this being a 4-score game, Belmar got their... Well, first of all, they didn't score in the first. 3 of their 4 scores have come in the second quarter. A 56-yard rushing score by Jalen Jones, a 6-yard rush by Jaquan Feliciano, a 60-yard pick 6, also by Feliciano. And then just to begin the third, Carson Crawford put the cherry on top with a 20-yard rushing score. This is our first of 4 today here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The second and third games today. The 100-pound division with Lawrence and Belmar. The 125s with Lawrence and Belmar again, except Belmar being the visiting team, more or less, in that one. And along with that, the 160 game, the nightcap, Hopewell Valley and Belmar. So all 4 Belmar teams. Looked like there was some movement. It wasn't called. Feliciano's going to pass. It is incomplete. Defensive breakup that time by Hawes, and the intended receiver was number 99, Logan Frame. Third and 10. Do we penalty flag? Looks like there was a penalty flag. They're walking him back 5 yards. So that will put them back at the 42. So it was a 5-yard penalty after the incompletion. Again, not exactly sure what the penalty was, but and now whistles here. Still not really sure what they've got going on. Just looks like the back judge is giving an explanation of something to the Northern Burlington sideline. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but it's a 5-yard penalty against Belmar and movement. Neutral zone infraction on another nose tackle. So again, we mentioned you have one penalty goes one way, another goes the other way, and it's like it never even happened. And again, with this clock running, we're already down to 3 minutes gone in the fourth, 7 to go. Somebody's got a, I heard a megaphone over there. I don't know on what sideline, but just kind of came through the ears of my headset a little bit. 3rd and 10. Again, the line's holding up in this one as Jones, another stutter step rush. Left side. He gets up to the 20, and he'll get a gain of 13. First down, Purple Eagles. And as they convert for a first down, let's go over some more sponsors for today. We'll be doing these for all of the games, so you might get sick of me by the end of the night. But listen, contracts are contracts. This broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey at the Gloucester campus, the premier community college of New Jersey. Visit rcsj.edu for academic information, especially as registration is open for the winter and spring semesters for accelerated courses and full 15-week courses, and visit rcroadrunners.com for athletic information. Clock is running, under 6 minutes to play. Lawrence and Belmar warming up just outside the field here at Timothy Curry Field. Another rush, but a handful of flags came in. I think this is going to go back against Belmar. It is a hold. And those holds on rushing plays are such big deflators just because you already didn't get that many yards. And with this being 10 yards to the spot of the foul, this is going to set them up at first and very long. And it does appear that Northern Burlington accepted the penalty because just better reason to do it. One more thing, this broadcast is brought to you by DAWG Pro Wrestling. The Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators are New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for information on future events or to book DAWG yourself for corporate events, birthday parties, private events, whatever it may be. Book DAWG. That's Dog Pro Wrestling as the Rush. Believe Jones was on the carry. Check that. That was Haran. So this fourth quarter might literally just be one and done. One drive, 10 minutes, get it done. As Belmar, I think I mentioned in the open, 4 teams represented. I think if 2 of them win, it's a successful weekend. If 3 of them win, it's spectacular. And if all 4 win, then that's just immaculate, if you ask me. I mean, having all 4 programs represented is impressive enough. And only having 1 loss in the regular season amongst all 4 programs. I mean, this is a development ground for a lot of good teams and a lot of good programs. You think about the local high schools that are around here, Audubon, Haddon Township, Paul Sixth, a whole bunch of Audubon guys and former Purple Eagles and Oakland Cougars have been there. PVI is having a couple of good years. You know, you've got Haddonfield, you've got Haddon Heights. You know, depending on where you are, depending on where you live. Like Northern Burlington, it's pretty clear if you're a Northern Burlington Greyhound in the youth, you're probably going to be a Northern Burlington Greyhound in high school. And they don't have that bad of a team either. I think they went, 4-6 or 5-5 in the high school level this year in the Independence Division of the WJFL. 3rd and short. Belmar gets a first down. They'll drop the sticks, roll out left side. They do get the first. And another flag as Northern Burlington set a Belmar player toppling, but where is this flag going to be against? It came in the midst of the tackle by Tyrone Leverett Jr. Face mask on the offense, so another penalty against the Purple Eagles. I mean, you can be upset that it's a penalty against them, but you also, your brain kind of has to be in 2 different places here because you're upset about the penalty, but at the same time, you're also like, yeah, we're about 3 minutes away from clinching a championship. So how mad about it can you actually be is my question. But it looks like the penalty was declined because they're lining up from the 2-yard line. And Belmar is going to look to have one last stand to get into the end zone for a 5th time. 4th on offense. Rush, Haran. Left side, he's got room, and he's in the end zone. Connor Haran with the cherry on top with 2 minutes to play. And the Belmar Purple Eagles will occupy one of their fingers with a ring. They could have everything except for the thumb if everything goes correctly today. But the only drive of the 4th quarter, an 8-minute and 5-second drive with the clock running, of course, makes it 34-0. 35 if they convert a 1-point conversion. So out of the 4 touchdowns, 4 different players scored. Jalen Jones had the first. Jaquan Feliciano had the 2nd and 3rd, including the defensive score. And then Crawford had the 1 in the 3rd, and now Haran picks up another. Minute 25, clock running. Can't tell who has that one, but whoever it is, it's in the end zone, and the rush is good. So they're going to keep the clock running. We'll stay here because I don't know if they might just get a kickoff, and Northern Burlington might not have a chance to run a play on offense. But the Greyhounds, they did what they could, but the Belmar Purple Eagles, a team that they lost to by just 12 in the regular season, didn't seem to have a match in the championship game, as it looks like the final tonight, barring any drastic changes, in the first game of the day with smiling coaches on the Belmar sideline, will be the Purple Eagles 35 and the Greyhounds 0. They're just pulling their players together, so it looks like they will try to run at least one more play, being a kickoff, because they're not going to have time. They're not going to, or I should say they have too much time to just wind down the clock. They'd have to take a delay of game. Got 20 seconds. Northern Burlington has their players on the sideline. Are they just going to let this one go? I think they will. There's Hugs. They're not going to attempt to kick off. Northern Burlington goes to the 50. And after about a minute delay, the 90-pound 8U champions, the Belmar Purple Eagles. 35-0. A dominant win over the Northern Burlington Greyhounds. After a scoreless first quarter, Belmar put up 3 scores in the second, including a fantastic pick 6 by my player of the game, Jaquan Feliciano. Lined up under center as the quarterback, had a couple of pass attempts, including one into the end zone for a good 8-point play. He's responsible for 14 of Belmar's 35 points today, and as 4 players scored a touchdown, the second and the third came from Jaquan Feliciano, and especially that pick 6. You almost never see a pick 6 in 8U football, so the fact that we saw that today was a great highlight and will be a great close to our first game of the day. So, stay tuned. We're going to go off the air for a moment. Come back. I mean, it's 11:36. I don't know if they're going to start the game early or if they're just going to let this run for about a 20-minute break. But we will stay updated with you as it's the Purple Eagles 35, the Greyhounds 0. Hugs all around, handshakes all around, good sportsmanship from both of these WJYFL programs. If you are watching the next game, Lawrence and Belmar, click off of this link when the live stream ends, go back over to the live tab and hit the 100-pound championship between the Cardinals and the Purple Eagles. You'll see the logos, you'll see the names. Just look for the one that says it's scheduled for 12 noon. Again, I apologize that it's not one continuous live stream. I know if you're watching on a smart TV, those can be a little bit difficult to navigate. I do apologize, but it's just a YouTube thing. It makes it a lot easier for me to schedule these live streams separately. So we will take a break. We will be back in about 20 minutes, give or take, as the Purple Eagles will play the Lawrence Cardinals.